Look. Okay, 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it. 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it. I ain't never seen a city sleep. You can really hit a city breathe. They be saying we ain't got culture, they just don't know what it really means. No, we gotta represent, heavy underrated, yeah, we gotta make a scene. No shade to the other guys, but you can't deny we the one to be. Capital city, the map looking pretty when we on it. So community driven, the people we living with, loving each other. That's all that we see.
Coach, AJ, Ashley James, known by a lot of names. More importantly, known by this community for loving this community. Tell the city a little about you.
A little about me. Born and raised at Sparrow Hospital right up the street. Couple elementary schools around here, so I'm a little seasoned. Went to Otto Middle School, Sexton High School, graduate. Homegrown because I went to Lansing Community College too, right? Got a scholarship, transferred to Indiana Tech, just being able to play basketball. And I think that's where the journey began from there. Finding purpose, figuring out how to use sports as a vehicle for life, understanding childhood. You know, you go through those things. I was a foster kid here, Lansing, Michigan. So I know a little bit about, you know, the economics, the foundation of the city based on just the things that support it, like community programs and Department of Human Services, things like that, right? Lansing School District. So I feel like, yeah, I'm a real thorough Lansing, you know, from leaving and coming back, going to school and being able to come back here, finding purpose, discovering what it is, and then figuring out my position in it here. And, you know, through tests and trials and, you know, ups and downs, Section 8, all those things that, you know, people don't like to talk about. We talk about learning the systems of the city. Yeah, I think I know them, including the bus routes. So I know a little something about the city. So, yeah, first coaching job here at Lansing Community College. I believe I'm the first woman to coach boys varsity basketball here, I think. I don't know. Maybe somebody had to check, right? But assistant coach, shout out to Trey for, you know, plugging me in with that. But, yeah, this is Coach AJ. The name came from college, and, you know, now I'm here serving, not as a coach for basketball, but a life coach. So, yeah.
Well, and we've heard of life coaches. AJ, what you do is infinitely more than that, right? You've been working with students. You've been working with those who are not students. You've been working with parents. You've been working with those who are not parents. You've, like you're saying, have coached sports teams, but more importantly, you have moved in a way that most have not in this city, right? In a way that has been bold, in a way that has not backed down when things get hard, but you continue to lean in because you have found, I think in your words, purpose. Maybe break some of that purpose down for us if you could.
Yeah, it took me a while,
Yeah.
you know, trying to figure out who am I, what am I trying to do? Like, and I remember seeing this YouTube video maybe like 5 or 6 years ago when I was trying to figure out, like, what's my purpose? Like, I want to help people, but how am I help people? Yeah. And I remember a video saying it's like, you got to be able to answer 5 questions. You got to be answer, who are you? Mm-hmm. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? Yeah. Who do you want to do it for? And how do you want what you do to impact others? Yeah. And not being able to answer those questions, but being able to ask those questions is like the beginning to figuring out, like, what is my purpose? Because when you can answer those questions, I think the earlier, and this is probably why I mentor now, the earlier you can answer those questions, the better. Yeah. Because then circumstances don't, you know, feel like it crushes you mentally. Yeah. You got something to aim at. Like, I need to figure out who I am. I need to figure out what I like to do and why I like to do it, and who am I going to do this for? That's right. Because it just gives you, and I think people naturally have it, but like I said, you're limited by the questions you've never been asked. So nobody ever asks you, that's right, who are you? That's right. What are you doing, or what do you want to do? That's why? Right. It's not just the why. I know people say, oh, it's about your why, but that's just one of the questions of purpose. So I think for me, being able to answer those questions, and before having that experience was like, I don't know if I can answer those questions, and not feeling like it won't happen, but it gives me a desire to, when circumstances happen, like I just got to figure out maybe these circumstances or this being in foster care is helping me become the person that I was created to be. So for purpose is just, I think that's the thing that covers your mental, spiritual, physical, like gives you the capacity to do things that you just wouldn't naturally, or that the world or society doesn't influence you to do. And I think that's the unique thing. And I think the lack of purpose is why a lot of people struggle. And I think that's why me understanding this and having a conversation about it, it opens up people just like it opened me up. These couple questions, once you ask them, you can't undo the conversation. It's like, who am I? Well, I don't know who am I. Like that's like, I have you thinking about that for 2 weeks.
That's right.
And then now you can actually get on a direction and be like, well, I know who I am, or I'm figuring out who I am. Instead of saying, I don't know who I am, I don't know if I'm going to be anybody, because that's associated with value. Purpose associates with value and self-love and all these things we kind of skip over. But it's like, let's talk about, do you even think you're worthy? Do you think you have a purpose? Because you were created for a reason. It's like, now you got to figure it out, and going against it. I'm here for a reason, and I'm doing something else. And I'm thinking I'm struggling in life, and it's really, nah, I'm trying to get you in alignment with the person that you really are created to be. So purpose is probably the most important conversation you can ever have, but I'm learning that people die without having these conversations.
I mean, so let's as we think about purpose, and here's what's so beautiful about it. The Promise has been working with you for a couple of years now, for lots of reasons. One of those reasons is not only your understanding of purpose, your ability to define it, to identify, as you just did, to walk us through that. But you made a really important statement too. The younger you start, the better shot we got. Right? The reality is, at the Promise, we want to see every kid successful after high school. But if they don't know what direction they're going, it's real hard to be successful, because we don't even know what we're aiming for. Right?
That's
I think
right.
one of the most important things that you've been able to at least help me understand is, one, our kids have ideas.
Absolutely.
They know what they want to do. But to your point, because no one's ever asked, that may or may not have fully been vetted out yet. And I'm 42 years old trying to figure out what I want to do with my life,
Still.
right? Like I get it, right? This is a process, and we need our kids to also understand that piece, right? This is a part. Struggle is a part of the process. Questioning yourself is a part of the process. Being scared of the future is a part of the process, right? But within that concept of having courage and bravery, right? Courage and bravery, what we talk to a lot of the kids when we talk to them, and we'll get 6th graders answering the question right. Is bravery the absence of fear? And they say no. It's in the presence of fear. We still move forward.
That's good.
Right? In that piece, what you've been doing in this concept that you've been building called MotivateME, right? You talk about purpose, right? At the Promise, we believe that identity plus belonging plus motivation equals success beyond high school. But finding that motivation, I mean, you've already talked about identity when it comes to value and worth and who I am. Belonging is obviously in the classroom, campus, community. AJ, talk to us about motivation.
Man, it's crazy, because initially at first I didn't think motivation is not a word. At this age, at 40, it's like motivation. You should have been had that by now, right? And that's usually the assumption. So initially I feel like God gave me the word because empowerment was the word I was like really pushing. But then with our young people, it's all about language. Like, it's all about language, and there's no other word. Motivation is just it's a unique word. One, because the core word of it is motive, right?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So that right there says a lot when you say motive. So do people have one? Do you have a reason to look for purpose? And you can't assume that. It's like, how do you know? And then you can't assume that because you don't need to be motivated as somebody else does, because we all had to start. Motivation seems so basic, but it's so fundamental, just like dribbling. Like, you can't play basketball without dribbling. Can't play basketball without a handle. And to me, motivation is that handle. Is how you get from this point to this point. And it seems like it's not important. Purpose is very important too, but if I'm not motivated, if I don't feel a sense of, and motivation is about driving a goal. Like, maybe I don't have a purpose yet, if I have a goal, it's gonna lead me to purpose.
Yep.
So what I'm learning about the kids and MotivateME was like, motivate me. Don't try to educate me right now. I don't want to be educated. Yeah. I'm not motivated to be educated right now. What reason what motive should I have to be educated? Why should I read? Because you want me to read, and I can go in and say you should be motivated to read and learn, because if you don't learn, you can't earn the way you want to.
That's right.
So I'm motivating you to do things that, typically, you should automatically feel motivated. But this society that we live in is not motivating. You can be inspired, but motivated is two different things. I could feel like doing things, but motivation is the thing that it's an action. Maybe this don't work, but I go do it anyway. I just go research it. I watch a video. These little things are triggers. Yeah. And then before I know it, I got to go. Yeah. Now my goal is I got to find out my purpose. So it's like, you can't skip that step. And for me, I'm like, okay, at basic and fundamental, I'm learning this generation is so simple. We so complicated, we so smart, right, so educated, right, that we can miss the most simple things. It's like when you're coaching basketball, you can't skip over and walk down 20 points. You literally have to go 2 points, 1, 2, 3, if it's a free throw, if it's a layup, if it's the 3. But I need you to think a bucket at a time. That's right. So for us, it's like to make the kids want to learn. How do you skip motivating them? And you feel like they don't. And it's some people, I'm not saying this is everybody, but this is something uniquely that I've discovered as my purpose now. It's not to empower them. They got power. That's right. Motivate them to use the power that they have. So it's like there's not a lack of power. It's not. It's a lack of motivation. How am I supposed to use this? If you're a superhero, you're not motivated, you become a villain.
It's two sides. It's two sides.
Yeah, so you either going to be one or the other. And that's every human being. We fall into the villain because if I'm leading by my emotions and I'm angry, I have power still. That's right. I'm just using it in the wrong direction. So I don't look at the youth in society as like, I look at it as we're using motives in the wrong direction. So MotivateME is about motivating you to use the direction for yourself, to use the energy for you. Use your superpower of speaking, thinking, and whatever your natural gifts, skills, and talents are, but that comes with purpose. You have to look for it. So it's like, okay, I don't know my skills. I'm motivated now, so tell me how I'm supposed to learn. I got you. Let's now. So MotivateME is just about the foundation, the fundamental conversation. I just need to get you thinking about it.
And so here's what's so amazing about everything you just laid out, right? One, when you talk about it, it sounds simple. It ain't easy.
No.
Implementing it's not easy. Understanding our kids, more importantly, building the trust with our kids is not easy. Some of our kids have been burned by some adults. Some of our kids have seen cheap talk. A lot of our kids have been talked at, or have had adults attempt to convince them of the value proposition of fill in the blank. College, career, right? Whatever it is. I think what I heard you say, and I would love to even dig in a little deeper, you talk to the kids about what motivates them. This is a very personal thing for our students. And when they find that motivation, then it's not you having to provide the energy, you having to provide the input. You can provide the guidance. You can be there as a coach, right, to guide along the way, to help provide some barriers or maybe not barriers, what am I thinking? Guardrails.
Yep.
Right? And if one of our kids flies off the guardrail, we go get them. We bring them back.
Yeah.
And keep them moving on this path. That concept, you ready for the social work, Remy? That concept is empowerment. But it's empowerment, as you just noted, which is a recognition. Our kids have power. They have voice. They have ability. But if we as adults done our job yet, I don't think we have. I take it back. Some of us have.
Yeah, we're learning.
But we got a lot to do. Now, within that, MotivateME campaign, this whole piece, you've laid some of the framework of it. What does it look like this year?
It's the vehicle.
Yeah.
It's, you got a lot of community organizations, a lot of programs, a lot of services, a lot of great people that do great work around here, but it's all separated. It's like having, just imagine no malls but a bunch of stores. Just think about that.
That connective
Imagine
tissue.
if there was no buses and there was no planes.
Right. That's right.
Just think about that. I mean, everybody would have to travel independently. That could get a little difficult. It could cause much more traffic than necessary, right? It's like, what benefits could you have if 20 of the right people got on the same bus? What type of conversations could happen if they're all in the same place? And it's just a vehicle. You can be yourself because your program is you dressed in your outfit. Like, I'm not telling you what to wear.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So you represent your program. But be in a space. This is a vehicle for people to get in, just like the Freedom Riders. When they were thinking you can't have a movement independently. Like, so how do you demonstrate this to the young people? You show them by aligning yourselves with those resources. Like, well, instead of having 100 stores, let's put them in a mall. That way we ain't got to be outside, right? It's just, how convenient is this for people? Yeah. And you don't have to live there. You can have another store. You can have another storefront, but you need one in a space where if there's foot traffic, maybe they wouldn't see your store, right? What if they don't? If it's in a mall, it's like, I'm going to see stores I would never see independently. I'm not stopping at every place.
That's right.
I don't want to call 30 numbers to get help with, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I can walk in a building, get shoes, socks, some food, go to the movies.
That's right.
These are all human needs being fulfilled in a space. And it's like, if we can't do it in a vehicle, then I don't know if that's your purpose. And this is a call to action to people that say that the people are the most important thing, or the youth are the most important thing. How important are they? Are you willing to get in a vehicle with other people that say this is the most important thing too? I'm challenging you now, because I'm already knowing what they need to see. They need to see a demonstration, because this generation doesn't want you to tell them. We were the ones that you could tell us and, yeah, do this, and we'll follow directions. This generation is not. You got to demonstrate that.
That's right.
So if you're going to tell us to get together and you're going to tell us to do certain things, why are you not doing it? That's a legitimate question from a young person when we walk into school and they like, how do we know you really care?
That's right.
We only see you one time and you come in, and then you come in talking about yourself.
That's right.
So when I go in talking about you, I make this about you. I do assessments, so every individual is unique, but we all have the same abilities. Yeah. I just need you to know how you use them makes you unique. Yeah. Just like if we all cook the cake, we got the same ingredients, all our cake's gonna taste different. Because you use a little bit more of this, but it's the same ingredients, so you got to understand that this is a way. But if we can't get together, get on a bus to drive somewhere, so we can show them, oh, this is what community look like. Because community, the core word of that is communication. If you don't have it, is there a community?
That's right.
So for me, it's like, yeah, let's get in this vehicle together and let's demonstrate, because that's gonna motivate me, the person doing the serving, the person watching it. There's nothing better than a demonstration. You got kids that watch YouTube all day. They don't need you to talk. They don't want to listen to your podcast. They want to see the podcast and listen.
That's right.
And it's like, they better believe you.
That's right.
So you better be motivated. If you're talking about motivating me. So when I come around, they see me motivated. Just like seeing you, it motivates me. Yeah. So you don't have to tell me, oh, be encouraged. No, just watching you in purpose inspires me and motivates me to figure out what goal can I aim at first. Because I want to feel like you feel. I want to aim at something like you are. So it's just, Motivate Me is about a demonstration. It's a call to action to people that say they love to serve and give. And for the young people that say, hey, I need you to motivate me. Okay, I'll demonstrate. So I know that's a lot.
Well, but it's a lot of good, right? That's not only a lot of jewels. When what you've just laid out for everyone that really hears it is that our kids need us as adults to set the real examples. We're asking them to do things that we're not willing to do. We're asking them to get along when us adults don't get along. Right? And that's at the national political level. Right?
Woo, yeah.
And it's other ways. But if our leaders just go at each other and dehumanize each other, and then us as adults in the community go after each other and dehumanize each other, and then we tell our young men and women, hey, quit doing that. Treat each other well. Why is there all this retaliatory danger and violence going on? Well, maybe kids do what they see. And so when there is this call to action, when we talk about motivation, it really is a powerful component. But that motivation, to your point, has to come from, well, I mean, it's both external and internal.
Oh, yeah,
right?
for sure.
It needs to be internally identified, I think.
Yep.
And when I butcher stuff, obviously,
No, you're right. You're right on point.
Internally identified, but it may need to be externally fueled. Is that
Absolutely.
Is that accurate?
It's both.
When you work with a student and you talk about doing an assessment, could we break down a little bit what these assessments are, and then kind of how that helps you and informs you on how to help the student move forward?
So I do the DISC assessment, which is a personality assessment, but understanding how the conscious mind works and understanding how decision making, because the DISC assessment focuses on decision making, interactiveness, steadiness, and then protocols, like your conscientiousness, right? So how you approach decision making, you know, how you choose to interact with people, or how you choose to express emotions. These are remember I told you, these are the superpowers. When we talk about a cake, these 4 styles, and then you could go back to 400 AD. You know, William Martinson created this tool. He used it for the lie detector test. So it's like professionals use this for professional development and personal development in all these high corporate places to teach you self-awareness, because they know that's the key to success. When you are aware of something and you have the capacity to see something, you can't unsee it. So when you see something possible for you, or you see a natural skill set, and my gift is speaking, what that does or what that means to purpose. So now I'm tying the DISC assessment to purpose. How do you like the approach? And communication too, because we're different, right? We're all unique, but we have the same ingredients. You being able to recognize how you use those ingredients in you, your powers, how you may be the villain to yourself, how you may, or I don't think I have a talent, and
self-sabotage.
Yeah, like how do I know I'm worth anything? It's like, oh, you got natural gifts. We're not talking about skill sets. We're talking about your ability to listen, your ability to make conscious decisions and not be afraid to make a choice. Yeah, you can make mistakes and make the wrong choices. That comes with it. But it's like some people are afraid to make choices, or respecting a person that makes stronger choices than you, letting that motivate you. So the assessment is going to show you what level at capacity you're at, because you say you want something. Let me just show you. It's like mental game film. So I equate the assessment as like a mental game film. You an athlete, it's crazy. It's crazy that I went through college and high school without watching game film. Yeah. So you know how limited you are when you don't even see yourself play? And you can't listen to people tell you how you're playing all the time. You don't believe them. You gotta see yourself make those mistakes. Or, well, why is this person scoring? It's because you're not aggressive enough. You don't want the ball enough. This person does. So it's not that they're trying to take anything from you. You could be looking at everybody else and it's like, you just not stepping into your power. So it just shows you things for yourself. 'Cause I don't need nobody to tell me all the time, you need to see the film. I'm gonna explain to you how to look at it. But in a sense, these are the things you need to pay attention to. Like, these are the things will trigger you to make decisions or respond like you did because childhood made, you know, and it allows people to open up to therapy, mental health, because that's, what is it, a public health crisis right now? Mental health? Amongst our young people, number 1 and 2 killers, gun violence and suicide for ages 12 to 21. And this has a lot to do with, are you aware of what's possible for you? What's causing you to sink these thoughts? Depression is a repetitive cycle of thinking, just like positivity. And it takes mental strength to build that. So if I can see, I think I have a thought process that takes me this way. There's a simple process mentally that can take you another direction like that.
But, not even but, and. How powerful if students in high school actually understand what you just said. Right, I'm 42 years old. I've been struggling with depression my whole life. I wasn't diagnosed till a few years ago. Right before I took it serious, got on medication, and had to like treat myself better in how I do this work, right? To understand what causes me to do certain things or why I react in certain ways, and that's that's a mental health struggle.
It is.
Right? I mean, I was raised by social workers, but we don't talk about it at home, right? Because that's for other people. Well, I am the other people, right? And it turns out everyone is.
Everyone.
So if we all have some kind of struggle to work through, we all have these pieces. Sometimes sharing that isn't real effective when the folks around you can't actually get you connected to the resources you need anyways. In other words, why am I going to share this very personal, painful thing with you if I don't think there's going to be any resource for it, any result for it, whether you even care? But now flip that. If I know there's an adult who's coming into my school, who I know looks me in the eye and actually cares about me, who asks me how I am and cares about it, who asks me who I am and causes me to ask those questions that I'm, to be honest, struggling through if I'm 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 42.
Right.
Right? But then also with the understanding that now that you've asked those questions, as you get those answers, we as a community are ready to walk with you into your successful future, right? Like that's the vision of the promise that we've been talking about, right? We built a scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay. But a scholarship without vision, right? It ain't as effective. Now, do we get 50, 60% of the graduating class? Sure. I want 100%.
Right.
More importantly, I want 100% of those graduates to know not only where they're headed, but why and who they are and what they're going to do, because this is about success beyond high school. This ain't just about getting into college, getting into trades, getting into a business. What's so exciting about this is as we begin to work with high schoolers in this piece, I mean, I'm just starting to imagine, and my mind starts racing a bit, what does it look like when this motivation station, motivation challenge, motivation campaign really sinks in, right? What does it look like when saturation levels are high? That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Magic happens.
Come on.
Magic
exactly
happens.
So as we do this, right, let's talk. What are we thinking about in the high schools and maybe even at, I don't know, like LCC campus? Might be another one. Because we might have like 80% of our scholars there anyways.
Right.
What are we thinking over the next year?
So, we started last year, and shout out to Everett, just really embracing the launch and kickoff, the soft kickoff of it. Right. And we started just with a station, literally a table, and it's a power section because we got MotivateME cards, which are affirmations. We got a motivational message board. I kept it really basic. Initially we can go and complicate it. Yeah. We want to do a form. Let's do them a Google form. And I'm like they don't got that much time. Okay. The kids is like they in pass and everything is like, let me just do this quick. So I had to really, I'm glad I was allowed to do it at Everett because it gave me a chance to adjust it to them. Not just go in with my own agenda. I left room for flexibility, but I knew the principle was engagement. That's the first thing. So about MotivateME is first thing, can we engage you? Yeah. And then the second thing is empower you, right, with the conversation. Like you said, the rapport, authentic conversation. Who are you? Or they're interested in knowing why y'all coming up here to motivate us? What do you know about motivation? Just keeping it very simple. Who motivates you? How do you get motivated? What do you do? And I need you to write this on the board. So it started with just give me a motivation. And I went in asking. I didn't go in. At first I was going to go in trying to just motivate them. That's right. And I was like, okay, I see how this goes. You got to do reverse psychology with teenagers. So, they're a little intimidating. Like, it's like you got to know your stuff or they will like chew you out, right? That's from the outfit all the way up, right? So I go in there and I'm like, okay, I need motivation. I need y'all to motivate me. And it tripped me out, the response, because, nobody comes in and they like, you're a whole adult. How could you can motivate me. Tell me what you tell yourself or what would you tell somebody? And they like, well, give me a situation. You know what? I kept it real with them. Yeah. In order to motivate you, I got to be honest. Yeah. Okay, well, this is my goal. I'm working on this. I want this to happen. Yep. I kept it real with them. Yep. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. It was a real goal. I said, give me some words that I can use. Yeah. And secretly, I kept some of the motivation boards at home because they was really for me.
Well, so these motivation boards were not written by you?
No, by the students.
They were authored by students.
By the students.
Who brought their own motivations to the table.
To the table.
Shared them on this board. Mm-hmm. That's power.
Yeah, passing it.
You kind of got me, sorry. Our kids in this city, our future scholars, our young adults, our young professionals have so much more to bring to the table than we ever give them credit. That seems like the right direction.
Yeah.
When we're asking them questions about on the motivation cards, are there any kind of themes or otherwise that you're seeing that our kids are talking about, just that they're sharing?
I'm gonna give the sauce away because normally, we don't like the mentors don't like to give the plays away. So we're gonna say this, right? Yeah. I'm gonna give them the sauce, but I know this MotivateME is different. Yeah. We got 2 questions. Yeah. Give me your top 3 goals. Yeah. if you got any, right? Then I need your top 3 challenges. What are your goal stoppers? Like, what's getting in the way of your goals? And I'm like, if I can get you to motivate me first, soften the approach,
That's right.
and then I ask you, I don't need to ask you nothing else. Because if you didn't have a goal, you're thinking about it now. But I know you got some challenges.
That's right.
And this is where community comes in. I don't have to be here to solve every problem. So the motivation station, engagement, I get to engage you as a person. You get to know me as a person. You get to know whoever's with us as the squad, the team. We get to find out where you need to be empowered because it's about you. You may not need I don't even want to come in here with an agenda. This is why partnership is so important. I just need to know so I can share this. This is the selflessness of what I'm doing. You don't have to be in my program. I just need to know what you need. And I can connect you with people that don't do what I do. So we go from the station to the assembly to the series, right? So the assembly, introduce you. I had one kid come up to me like, Coach, why you ain't doing assembly? A kid asked me why I didn't do an assembly. They hate assembly sometimes, right? That's right. And I thought that was so cool because I'm like, he asked me to do assembly, and that's when I told you, I was like, Justin, we got to do an assembly. But this is me allowing it to happen versus just coming in. That's right. And we've talked to them. They're like, don't just come in here telling us your story. We ain't asked you your story. You right? This is your world. This is your school. You right. Let me ask you about you first, and then automatically you're going to ask me, what do I do? Why are you doing this? I get to explain everything. So we go from that to a series, which is LCC. Shout out to Lansing Community College. Gave me my scholarship, gave me my first coaching job on the basketball team, and now this series in which is for the community, for the students, for our Lansing Promise students, where you can just come in and you can get motivation for an hour.
I love it.
You can get the gold cards. You can meet the community. You can get poured into. You can come interact and do the stations and find out. And then you can get a word from me or whoever the guest speaker is we have, because we have people that can give you power because you need it.
That's right.
LCC is trying to create a care culture. This city needs it. The world needs it. Like you said, we don't need to be going back and forth. So leading things into from the station, I meet you on the ground. Then I'll take you up a notch by introducing it formally because you're interested, right? And then we go like the series. So we got a couple subjects: your mental health, your life skills, your career and education, and purpose, right, and goals. So these are the breakout sessions. College and education, we don't have to talk about that because you're motivated now. Not just motivated by me though. This is not about me motivating you. This is about me teaching you how to be self-motivated.
That's right.
So the end goal is we don't have to. You're going to come back. This is a community. This is a sorority. The squad is here for you for life. Yep. This is our partners, the community, and the new ones that come in 5 years, 10 years, because we're not going to do this forever. And we're going to have people that have ideas to fix social problems. And our job is to make sure it's connected like the body. That's right. Can't separate the toe from we need them. We need every part. So these programs, I'm embracing everything. Why would I want to do everything? Why would a child want one person to serve every need? It's boring. That's right. Right?
And not possible.
And not possible. So I can be in my gift as a community leader. Yep. That child, that parent can be looking for purpose, and it makes sense. Just like I'm a shooting coach. You're the weight trainer. You're the conditioning coach. We all get to be in our gifts, and they get to find out theirs through each of our gifts. That's right. So the only way you can do this is working together. You got to demonstrate it. Don't talk to me about teamwork unless you're doing it. So for this, and this is a repeated thing. This is not, we want to do a campaign, now. No, this is a movement. That's not only going to be in Lansing. It's going to be all over this country and the world because it already is. That's right. And this is something not just for our young people. This is not a secret. This is for every young person because there's communities all over this country that do what we do, that doesn't do this, the messaging part. And that's what these kids need. And not only for Lansing, but this should encourage kids that are in Milwaukee to go to their community programs. Encourage those community leaders to unite themselves. So you don't need to stop gun violence. You don't need to try to do those things, but you do need to show them what it looks like to demonstrate purpose.
Because there are those in their community doing that work.
Period.
Because what happens if we all actually unite hand in hand, we drop our logos and our egos, and we move together in one vision for one community, for one outcome.
Absolutely.
Easier said than done, my friend, but
of course.
Listen, I'm in. You're in. We know a whole lot more folks that are ready to do this work. AJ, here's what I'm so excited about. I'm so excited about talking about this stuff again next year.
Yeah.
When we see all kinds of results, and when you and I help identify and we pull in a few of our students to have real conversations in this series to understand their motivation, but also, more importantly, I think something so critical you said. You said a lot of things that were really important, but that we begin to set the example and the demonstration and start listening to our students. AJ, thank you for your work. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for being part of this thing.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's a wrap.
That's my guy.
Look. Okay, 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it. 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it.
Been too many moments of silence, too many lives have been lost to gun violence. My God, we need some guidance. It's the same city that can be so tragic, also produces a brother like Shabazz and births a man like magic. Why I'm Lansing, born and raised, 517 to the grave. We got culture in our veins, we take the reins. With reformation comes a promise, better future is upon us. You can doubt it like Thomas, but we gon' rise like Adonis, and ain't nobody gon' stop us. We gon' get better, this a letter to my city that we fed up. Ain't gon' let applying pressure until everybody guess it. They can't try us, they can't buy us, gentrify us. When it's coming to my city, man, I'm blue collar biased. They can't divide us, united we stand like digits on a hand. Make it to the promised land, we coming up with a plan to make this a better place. I'm proud of Lansing, you can see it on my face. We gotta retrace and learn how to win this fight.
51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it. 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it. I ain't never seen a city sleep, you could really hit a city breathe. They be saying we ain't got culture, they just don't know what it really means. No, we gotta represent heavy underrated, yeah, we gotta make a scene. No shade to the other guys, but you can't deny we the one to be. Capital city, the map looking pretty when we on it. So community driven, the people we living with, loving each other. That's all that we seeking for, ain't no reason to need more. A lot of people saying go to the D for it, so we need to be seen more. Dream more, need a reason to be more, we just gotta believe more. I mold my style around the influences that I've witnessed. A new beginning, truer vision, it'll soon be finished. Endless inspiration from the people that I've known. Yes, I've grown to love the city as the city made me grown. Know whatever way you choosing for yourself to be expressed, there's a place that's meant for you so you can grow into your best. I can attest to its greatness with my chest, I'm here to say it. We will soon become the mecca of success. I'm expecting nothing. 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment, never gonna leave it. 51-7, take it to the grave. Legends never die, that's why we still awake. Sun keep beaming, city still breathing. Living in the moment,